How are you? What a question, Ivan. Okay. We can use the non-verbal communication. Okay. So we have only 2 lessons left, and this should be the most practical for us, as the last one was. Today, our program is to continue the SWOT analysis of your SWOT analysis, but also there is a very important moment because we have the checklist of the activities and some suggestion on how to conduct the meetings that I think that could be really helpful for you. So, as usual, start with our slides. Here they are. Okay. We are always in the 5th module to build the local action plan. But today we are in the 5.2, that is the organizational matrix of the meetings with local communities. How to build them, sharing strategies, how to identify the stakeholders, participatory analysis, identification of problems, and possible creative solution. I was just talking with Marina that said, oh, there could be so many different solutions, so many different issues. It's quite impossible to analyze all of them, but we give you some suggestions. And I think that in the continuance of the project, you could also make questions and we could help you in particular situation. Okay, so let yourself down. I like this. Let yourself down in a relational activity. It's an activity that's full of civil interest and passion, and I know from your CVs that you're very good at this. All of you have interesting experience, and all of you have had experience in processes of participation and aggregation. So I think that some one of you had the previous experience in the tourism field, and many more of you had to join together your experience with the tourism sector, with the tourism characterization. You can say that tourism is now is a difficult sector, a sector that had to deal with the COVID, with many difficulties, but tourism has always been a complex activity, always. So when it comes to understand tourism, to study how to be good in developing community-based tourism, not so much has changed from an application point of view. Okay. So we have some guidelines to organize meeting. The contents of the meetings. The first one, I had to point out and to underline that we have a document, a written document that has all the content, the guidelines for the meetings. And Simone I think he has already put this on the drive, and he will share the document on the chat. So these slides are only to spotlight what you should read in every moment in the document. So first of all, understand the meetings. The first meeting, of course, is the presentation of the project, the transnational action plan, and the local action plan. The second meeting has the aim to build a SWOT analysis of the municipality with the participants. So it's also very important. Starting from the third meeting, you had to deal with action projects, pilot activities that should be shared and included in the local action plan. So these are our elements about the type of meetings. So the guidelines, the objectives you have, of course, the first one, to trigger a spark, to involve people around this idea to work together as a community, to think together as a community. And the aim is that they jointly identify action to improve. What are the objectives? Also the objective that the local situation should be improved from, of course, a point of sustainability. And remember, not only from the tourism point of view, a general sustainability, economic, social, environmental. And also to create the partnership between public and private. We have said this so many times, okay? Then the other very, very important, don't forget about this, listening, active listening to what has already been implemented, if it worked and why, or if it doesn't work and why. And also identifying the problems that a previous project action had been, you could work about a further implementation, because maybe it was not undertaken jointly. It was a project that did not involve all the community. So this is very important, because in this point too, you may find how, I'm trying to say it simply, the objection of the community sometimes are not spoken. They do not told you why they do not agree with the idea of the project. You had to understand, to ask questions. And one of the main objections is we have already done this and it didn't work. You need to let them speak, to say this loud. So you had to identify the person who could tell you about this. That's from a practical point of view. Okay, wait, because, okay. The third objective, to create a new model of cooperation. The new model of cooperation between public and private is aimed to creating new tools, action, project, of course, for the enhancement and protection of the local cultural and natural heritage, and the safeguard of environmental quality. So not only the enhancement, but also the protection. When we talk about protection of heritage, we had always to remember that maybe a part of the community is not aware, do not know the value of their heritage. So these are also natural steps, telling them your heritage as a value is important for you and also for people who would come in the village to live, to visit, to stay for a route, to stay for better know you. Then, of course, planning and carrying redevelopment action of the villages. There are, of course, many, in the guidelines, you find also many specifications about the redevelopment actions. Then the enhancement of the genius loci, that is the protector of the place, okay? So in this case, we always use this in order to the creation of new businesses, of youth and also women employment. And these could be, of course, enhanced through the use of the assets of the place, and also with the launch of a sustainable mobility, a different mobility. Okay. So now we could go in. I let you see the slides. That is, we have already seen the three, we could say the three types of meeting, okay? Now, for every meeting, we give you a checklist, suggestion to what you need to do, okay? So this is about the first meeting, this is about the second, and this is starting from the third meeting, okay? After this summarize, okay, we also give you information about the organization. So now we read these three slides, and then we go back to our SWOT analysis, okay? So you keep alive with slides if we make a change during the projection of the slides. Okay, so the first meeting, what you need to do. The aim, we already seen it, it's the presentation of the project, the transnational action plan and the local action plan. So what you have to do is to summarize the project, the TAP and the LAP with slides. That's also a very good job, because to make synthesis helps you to really understand the main point. So start from the AdriaNet project, the transnational mapping, the AdriaNet draft of the transnational action plan, the BI-TAP, topics and guidelines for the realization of local action plan necessary for the construction of the transnational action plan. And for the development of authentic village, so to compile the local action plan template. Okay, that's what you need to prepare. Also prepare a participant register and a meeting report that will define the meeting result. This template, I think I saw that Simone has already prepared for you, so he will send them in the chat. or put them in the drive. Okay. So for the second meeting, also to create the SWOT analysis, you could start from these slides: the Adrian project, transnational mapping, the draft of the transnational action plan, the TAP, the Bay TAP, and the topics. Also for these, prepare a participant register and a meeting report, okay? When we are talking about third meeting and other meetings, you could have also start to summarize the action, the intervention, the project, the pilot activities using also these materials. Okay, just to give you a checklist for the steps that has to be done. Okay. Is there any question about this? It is clear. I give you time to look at the chat. Simone has already shared the document with you. Okay. Okay, here I am. Okay, so just to give you this map, now we go to the to our SWOT analysis to continue the SWOT analysis. I think that maybe if you read also these documents, then we pass it to, I have all the documents in the following slides. But also if you read these, maybe in our last meeting, you could ask for much more suggestions, and also if some things, some possible problem come to your mind, ask. Please, I had to inform you that unfortunately Marina couldn't be with us next time. So if you have a particularly difficult question, don't ask me, ask Marina today. Marina, avrei compreso, ho detto che dato che la prossima volta non ci sei, se hanno delle domande difficili, che le facciano oggi a te, non a me. So really, because as I always underline, she knows anything, everything. She had to face communities in all Italy. So I think that she has meet any kind of difficulties, problems, and she could tell you if in which way they solve them, and if there are some unsolved problem. That's authenticity, you know. Dicevo che appunto tu puoi dare suggerimenti su come risolvere tantissimi problemi, e anche se qualcuno è stato non risolvibile, perché questa è l'autenticità, insomma, del lavoro. Okay. Okay, so go back to the
Daniela, sorry. I just want to inform our territorial mediators that in the share folder in Google Drive, you can already find today's materials, and besides the guidelines that I already shared you, you can find also a template to be used when you will have to write the meetings reports, okay? So that you can all use a common template to do that. And you can find also an Excel template to collect names and contacts of the local stakeholders for each of the pilot villages that you have to engage. Finished.
Okay. Okay. Et voilà. So we ended the analysis with Croatia. If there is something else you want to say, please feel free to do this. Now we have Bosnia, Herzegovina, and then Serbia. But I saw Admir isn't in the chat. I didn't see him. So maybe we can, or if someone else would like to be the one who talks about the Bosnian SWOT analysis, let me see. Then Robert, I don't know if he's present.
Robert is here.
Hi, Robert, welcome.
Welcome, everybody.
So, yes, so please tell us all about the very good job I tried to paste in our Jamboard. Thank you for your job, and also thank you for write the SWOT analysis name in your language. I like it so much. I'm sorry that I didn't do this for all the groups, as I said. So please, would you like to talk?
Of course. So let me introduce you with the Belo Blato village, which is a real representative of our tradition and way of life in Vojvodina. As you can see, the first strength of Belo Blato is multilingualism and culturalism. Then there are some architectural particularities in the village.
Mm.
Then it is a managed natural heritage, meaning Tsarska Bara, the famous, let's say, small lake
Yes.
in nearby. Tsarska Bara is announced as Ramsar area, so it is under protection.
Okay.
The village is accessible from the road,
Okay.
not by train, not by boats.
No, not by plane, but
Not by
road.
plane, yes.
Okay. Okay.
So the villagers nurturing old crafts, meaning reed-related activities like reed cutting. Then it is popular pottery producing.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
And I'm not sure everybody will understand. The famous is also folk embroidery.
Folk embroidery.
Yes. Do you know what's that?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Then, as a strength, it's identified numerous associations in the village, in the small village. That means that people are very active in social life.
I look at your SWOT this morning and also yesterday, and I was very impressed by the list of the association. These associations are in Belo Blato, all of them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh,
And
please.
it's not the final list.
Okay, please, how many inhabitants are in Belo Blato?
Approximately,
Approximately, of course. No,
1,000
500. Okay. So
1,500.
thank you, because this gives much more. If I know how many, how the community is composed, it's much more impressive to have all these associations. It means a lot. As we said during all our meetings, to understand if the community lack of empathy or not. I think that Belo Blato, it seems to be an empathy community.
Yes,
right?
You're
Yes?
right. You're right.
Yes.
In recent years, they built a modern training center with beds suitable for informal education. So there are some summer camps organized there, etc. You Italians knows that Belo Blato surrounding is a famous hunting and fishing area.
Yes, I read this in the plan. I already didn't know because I'm not a fishing one, but I had my parents go, for example, in Hungarian for fishing, and so I don't know, they didn't come to Serbia, probably they did not know. Okay, so it's an important fishing area.
It was 30, 40 years ago when we here in Zrenjanin and Belo Blato were flooded with Italian hunters mostly. And that was the seed of the tourism in Belo Blato and Zrenjanin, of course.
Okay.
There are the roots there in that times.
Yeah.
So as a strength is also identified already established tourist manifestations. The famous one is Brandy and Sausage Festival. Just for your information, before the pandemic last year, in February, there were kilometers of the queue of cars waiting to go into the village. So they were unable to go into the village, and they parked and walked for kilometers to be present on that manifestation. Approximately, there were more than 20,000 people on that manifestation in one day in the village. So it was real madness last year.
Yes.
Of course, there are weaknesses also relating Belo Blato. It's mostly insufficient accommodation capacities for bigger manifestations and long-lasted manifestations.
Yes.
It's also not fully operational info desk.
Wow.
Not professionalized tourist guidance in the village.
Okay.
Not clearly defined tourist products. And unfortunately, or maybe not, because everybody chooses his way of life, tourism is not core business for locals.
Okay.
So there are potentials, but it's not still a core business for them.
Okay.
It's just for making additional money and be popular, you know.
Yes, yes.
When I said as a first strength, it's multilingualism and culturalism, in that small village, there is a primary school where the education is in 4 languages.
Well,
In that small village, primary school education process is in 4 languages. In Serbian, of course, in Hungarian, in Slovak, and in Bulgarian. So it's our pearl in Vojvodina in nurturing multilingualism and culture. Okay, there are opportunities, of course, we identified. First of all, it's international success for slow food tourism, then increase in international bird watching relating to Carska Bara as Ramsar area, then development of multicultural resources, and wider regional success of traditional brand production. So when everybody is talking about the wines, you know, we here working on marketing in brandy production.
Okay.
And
okay,
of
Robert.
course, yes?
No, you don't say. Go on, go on.
There are also threats. The first one in pandemic of COVID. So this year, the villagers tried to organize that famous sausage and brandy festival, but it was delayed at first time. And finally, a week or 2 ago, it's canceled for this year, unfortunately.
Yes, unfortunately, yes.
Okay, the next threat is industry capacities development in closer surrounding. It's almost forbidden talking about that in everyday life here, because very big multinational corporation in tire production, car tires production is located nearby. Very dangerous, not just for tourism and nature, but also for common life. Then,
can I ask you which is the product? Only the product, not the name.
Tire. Cars,
tires.
tire.
Okay,
yes.
okay. I understand.
Pneumatics.
Yes. I think because you said tire and then production, and I think it was tires about pneumatic, and then I did no, maybe said entire, entire production. So tire production. That's it.
Then there are negative demographical trends. It's in wider region, not just in Serbia. And this part of Serbia is still not recognized as a tourist destination. You know, everybody wants to go to mountains, to our famous spas.
Yes.
Nobody wants to go to plains, you know.
Yeah. Plane is boring, you know.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was shortly about Belo Blato.
It was?
Shortly.
Yes, of course. But very interesting because we have something different, and there are always a lot to say about any SWOT analysis, but I like to underline the elements that could be helpful for everyone. And in SWOT analysis, also what is interesting is, for example, from a target point of view, the tourist that comes for fishing, they I remember I read in the plan, but maybe I'm confusing, forgive me if I do this, that this kind of tourism has changed. Now Italians don't come as in the past. I'm right. This segment of tourists is not no longer the most important one.
Oh, somebody's talking in background.
Yes, yes, yes. Okay, okay.
Okay, so you identified some obstacle in this kind of tourism, as I understand well.
Yes, yes, yes. Because, of course, it's very interesting because, first of all, what I connect is about my vision of an older sociological image for tourism. That is the behavior of the local people and the way in which the tourism change during time. So at the beginning, all are happy about tourism, you know.
Yes.
Also because, yes, what you correctly said, additional money and so on. At the beginning, maybe there is also a very interest in talking with people who comes from other place. And probably this is also a Bello Blato characteristic because it's a melting pot, a little melting pot, where you find so many culture, multilingualism. So it should be one of the places very open to tourism. But if you have a kind of over-tourism situation in the village, the way the people consider tourism will become negative. Then, of course, to have one major event causes problems because when you say, okay, our weaknesses, we don't not have accommodation for 2-3 days of manifestation. Yes, that is. But if you, in some place, you had only to think about the problem and propose different ways of organizing it. For example, in some places, instead of having, a 3-day manifestation, they spot the days in 3 different months. So the problem of a sufficient accommodation, there is
I understand.
Of course.
Understand.
And also, it could help you also in the over-tourism. Okay, I know that Bello Blato is not Venice, we all know, okay? But the over-tourism is the same because the carrying capacity of the place is for a limited number of people, you know? And the people who comes to Bello Blato want to experience the place exactly how the people who comes to Venice. It's the same. If I find it so full and after time, the people is not so welcoming as before, this is a worst situation, both for the community and for the tourist. I think it's a very, very interesting situation in which you as a territorial mediator could really be helpful because you have already, and also with the involvement of the association. So when you say, for example, because I would like to underline for all of you, remember that we are in the part where we talk about outside situations. That is international success for slow food tourism. Okay.
Yes.
So you had to, when you say slow food tourism, you are not talking of people who comes for a festival, but you're talking for people who comes for a relation with food that is also a relation with life, a slow one, and that has nothing to do with over tourism. You said 20,000.
More than 20,000.
More than 20,000.
More than 20,000.
More than. So that's good to point out the success for slow food tourism, but the point, the word is slow. It's not food, slow. Try to differentiate, to change the way the festival offers food in a much more slow, I think, attitude, and to build some festival days. For example, you can do, okay, I don't know in which time is the festival, okay, but you can call the festival in March, for example, the festival preview, then the festival, and the festival reminder, you know. So create some manifestation that are different, that have as a target a much more slow food tourism. And also, for example, join together, you could join together bird watching and slow food. Okay?
Yeah, I understand.
Just to talk together about this. Mm-hmm. It's very, very interesting. And then the association are very, very, could be very helpful, you know. So of course, the bird watchers and the hunters are not the same target. It's not
obviously.
So, you know, no, it's not so easy. So if you want to increase the bird watcher, you should
decrease the hunters.
Yes, when there are hunters, because if I'm here for bird watching, I don't want to see killing birds, you know. So Robert, I thank you very much. I hope we could also talk about this in maybe also the next time, because I would like to join together all the interesting points from every SWOT analysis. Please, if you want, if you have some more questions or you want some suggestion in tourism, I know, but because I know that you're so good at anything else, I don't really know how much your experience in tourism is, but I think I could also help you in giving you some ideas or suggestions. It could be really a very interesting case history. So keep in touch.
Thank you very much, Daniela.
Thank you to you, Robert. Thank you. It was a pleasure. Thank you very much. So who's next? Albania, is there someone? Wait a minute for you to.
Hi.
Hi, yes, hi. How are you?
Fine, thanks.
You're fine?
Yeah.
So, who are you? I can't see you.
I'm Eugenia.
Okay, Eugenia, okay.
Because Matilda can't be here today, so it's just me.
Yeah, okay, that's very good to hear you. And so the village is Ulets. You choose Ulets, okay?
Yeah.
That is, you're in the Mirdite area.
I'm in
right?
Mirdite, yeah, and she's in Klas, and Ules is a town near Klas and Mirdite, so we choose that.
Okay, so please tell me anything you want about your work, and please, how many people live in Ulets?
They are registered like 1,000 and 200.
1,000 and 200.
Yes, 220.
Yes. So, Eugenia, we have 10 minutes, okay? But we take the time that's necessary for us.
No,
okay?
no, I can go
Okay.
for less than that. I wanted to say that the thing that we like the most about our town is that the people are so hospitable and they are so kind, yeah. And as soon as you came in the town, you see yourself, you see everybody laughing and hosting you to their homes and trying to give you some food, some delicious food they made. And this is one of the best qualities in our town.
Okay.
Yeah, and we can say that in Ules there are lots of architectural hotspots, so you can go and visit. It's also an aquatic resource because there is a river across the town. And there is a restaurant that you can go to, but just one. The geographic position.
Excuse me, one restaurant?
Just one, yeah.
Just one, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not enough for this.
For the people, yes, who visit, but.
The geographical position is so good because it's next to the highway and you can access it easily.
Okay.
And the traditions and the gastronomy are so good because there are a lot of different foods, and the history of the locals is like old and nice to hear. And the weaknesses is the poor infrastructure because it's, as I said, it's next to the highway, but the road to access the country, the village is not so good, and it needs a lot of job to do there.
Okay.
There are no lack of digitalization because there is no sign to know about the points that you can go. There are lack of data.
Okay.
And as a result of that, there is no knowledge from other people to visit and to go there.
Okay, so there's no knowledge and no promotion.
Yeah,
I think.
Yes. And the capacities of accommodations are so low.
Okay.
And opportunities, we have chosen youth employment because most of the youth are leaving the village for a better life. So if they don't have any chance there, they will leave it. And yeah, they are migrating and immigrating in other towns because.
Oh, please, wait, just a question. So you have youth living there, but there is a lack of guides. So we could connect these elements.
Also, people see the tourism like the only opportunity there, but they don't take initiatives to do something by themselves because they don't have trust in local governments and projects. So that's why.
Okay.
But I think that in the future, there will be something to change this. So we are working on this. We have started some projects, applying some projects. We have made some trails to visit, to visit some places, and there are like, we have in Mirdita, we have like 38 trails that are well signed, and you can find it in online and in a web page and in satellite view or in printed view. So that's one thing we have done, and we are trying to do some other things. We are also trying to make some guest houses, helping them.
That's what I was going to suggest you. Guest houses.
Yes, yes, we are helping them. We have some projects that are going to
very good.
Future.
Very good.
Have started, and so we think that the reasons why this isn't working is because they have the small financial opportunities, and because even our municipality is so small, and the projects that are attached to these municipalities are lower instead of other bigger cities and towns. So,
excuse me, instead of other
cities in Albania, because they are more big and the financial support is bigger.
Okay.
So we are trying to apply with other NGOs and something like that to improve our tourism and our point of view, and to help people stay here. Yeah.
That's very good. So I think you already, in the way I read your SWOT, it's a kind of SWOT in which a person could see that you have already made connection between the strengths, weaknesses, and opportunities. Yes. And that's very good, because it's quite immediately why the SWOT is also in a graphic form, in a visual form, because you can join together the words and find solution. So, of course, when you see trails, hospitality, and also I had to greet you about to say very good, because your description of the village, as you started to talk, it was a real storytelling. You make me you make me feel to be in this kind of place, you see, and that's very, very important when we present our place, also if it is in a SWOT analysis, you know.
Yes.
I had to say that everyone was passionate in describing the SWOT analysis, but your description was also a suggestion, an image, a way to transfer the person into the village. So it's very important to use this also for the promotion, because what I want to say to you all, because the problem for many of you is that there is no promotion of the village. But remember that one of the most difficult things for people doing promotion is finding words, finding text. So sometimes if you start writing the story of the village and writing good text and send to a central tourist office, they could use them. It's quite the same with a journalist, okay? Because it's difficult, the journalist, it's difficult to be published. But sometimes if you send to a journalist, to a person, something that it's good, well written about a place, the first time he has a space also on his blog or something like this, he publish it, you know? So, and then it's very important to be prepared, because if someone call you and say, oh, I had to write something about Ulets, have you something to send me? You have 5 minutes. So it's good to be prepared in the description. Don't wait that the promotion center, the regional, the nation promotional center do this for you. They should. But if you're prepared, it's a great thing. Then I saw here many opportunities for the youth, and it's obvious, but as I already told you, it's also a little dangerous to base all the development on the idea of tourism only. You know, I always underline that the authentic village is a place that do not focus only on tourism activities, okay? Of course, in some situations, the tourism can be the core, the center. Maybe in Ulets, according to the way of living, to the openness of people. Yeah. For example, if I had to write an headline for Ulets, I would use laugh in Ulets, because in your description, when you say all the people is laughing, it was a really strong image, you know, not smiling, laughing, very happy. No? And in this period, we all need to be happy also for some moments, you know. Mm-hmm. So very good to involve the locals, but also you need to, my suggestion only, I think that in this kind of situation, you said people is hospitable, so kind, they had to be professional. So not in a professional, it means that in hospitality, you need to, smiling is not the only thing, because the best way to have a tourist forever is that if he has a problem, you are able to solve it. This is an old story about people who trust a place for tourism. And with the situation we have, people will need safety so much more than before. So it's not only important, you have a good human value to build on, but try to improve the way of have an accommodation from a professional point of view. Okay? I was clear?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah. Thank you.
Not at all. And I'm looking if there's something else, but I think that you could really do a good job with the youth people here. Yes.
Hope so.
and that the village is in line with the Bay authentic experience. Because when everything's all right, the hospitable attitude is fundamental. If there are some weaknesses, okay, you have to face them with professional attitude. Okay, so have you some more questions? Are you okay with it? Okay, if you maybe add some more questions, write in the chat and we talk about that. Thank you. Thank you very much, Eugenia.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. So we have Macedonia, Central Macedonia for Greece, and also if someone from Bosnia would like to talk, maybe next time if you want, okay? So, Central Macedonia, Greece, hello.
Can hear me. Okay.
Okay.
Simone,
Who's talking?
I am Evangelia.
Evangelia. Hi,
Okay.
nice to see you.
Yes.
Okay.
Could you please, Simone, can I share some material so you can see some pictures of the village?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, of course. I
Okay.
think you can already try to share because sharing by participants should be enabled.
There is a message that says that I cannot start screen share.
Daniela, you have to stop your sharing.
Okay. Still not available.
Daniela, dovresti togliere la condivisione, se no lei non può.
Okay. Ah. Okay.
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 Well, this is one shot of the village Kytros. And I'll give you a hint how it looks like.
Yeah.
It's
That's
on
a very good idea.
Yes, it's on a hilly area. And there are many wineries, vineyards, as you can see.
Yes.
It's only 2 kilometers away from the seashore, where there are some beautiful cliffs. Here is a map of the area, of the broader area. And it is placed in this cape, nearby this cape.
Okay.
So the most beautiful picture, I think, in my opinion, is this one where you can see the lagoon area and the salt ponds here, where we collect the salt and, of course, sell it. A little settlement around here and a port where there are some fish boats.
Boats.
Yes. So, concerning the tourism, this village has around 1,000 residents. There are a few Airbnb.
Sorry. Wait, only 1 minute. 1 minute.
Okay, of course.
Yes. Okay. I finished all my sheet of paper, you know.
Okay.
Okay, here I am. Please.
Yes. Concerning the tourism information, well, there are around 1,000 residents and 5 Airbnbs apartments, let's say, in this village. Okay, so this area is of great archaeological value, as you can see in our strengths, because there are 3 archaeological sites nearby. Let me share another one and you can see. Sorry, just a minute, please.
No problem, Evangelia.
Yes.
Sorry, would you like me to share the screen of the SWOT? Or you have it on...
I have it in front of me.
Yes.
Would you like to share it with the rest? Yes, okay.
Yes, I don't know if the rest maybe need
Probably won't have it, yes.
Yes, better. Okay, so if you stop your sharing.
If I could just to show 3 pictures of the archaeological site.
Okay, of course.
We will proceed with, if I have some time.
Perfect.
So I think it's here. I'm sorry for that. You can see that this is ancient Pydna, and it is nearby the seashore. You can see the beautiful colors of the sea. Yeah. And another picture of ancient Pydna. And another archaeological site within a distance of 2 kilometers just away from Kytros. It is called the Bishop's Domain in Luludies. Well, I'll stop sharing and we'll have, Daniela, you can have the SWOT analysis, please.
Okay. Sorry. Some problems. Hope not to have to get out. Okay, here I am. Perfect.
Right. So
okay. Thank you. Let's go.
Yes, concerning our strengths, as I've already said, we have great archaeological value, 3 archaeological sites. There are many young people in the village that work for as farmers mostly, or fishers. Okay, and farmers, they're cultivating actually kiwi fruits. Yes, and are of high quality. That most of them are exported. Yeah. There are 3 local
gold ones, the kiwi, gold ones, red ones, green ones.
Green ones, the green ones. Yes.
Perfect.
There are 3 local wineries in this village with winning award wines. And this village is very close, about 30 kilometers to Mount Olympus. And I had some other pictures to show you where in the background there was Mount Olympus, but I don't have much time to do this. And we have a great network access. The highway from Athens to Thessaloniki is just 1 kilometer away. So you can take your car and go to Thessaloniki in 35 minutes. Concerning the weaknesses, there is not a good public transportation connection, not many trains or buses. There are some, but it's not of good quality. As I've already said, just 5 apartments, Airbnbs. Another weakness is that there is the competition among the local stakeholders. In this region, there are the North Pieria and the South Pieria, and they're fighting who's going to have the most grants from the state, or who is going to participate in more exhibitions, tourist exhibitions. Okay, this is a little bit crazy. And of course, we don't have insufficient tourism marketing promotion.
Yes.
Regarding the opportunities, well, in this area, I forgot to say that there is the mussel cultivation area, where are mussels of exceptional quality.
Yes, yes. I read this because I
Yes.
love mussels. So
Yeah.
I immediately see this one.
Yes.
So they are of good quality, very good
Yeah,
quality.
very good quality. And to tell you the truth, most of them are exported to Italy. Yes.
Very good.
I hope you try some.
Yes, probably. No, they should be used also on the place. Really, I said this because it was an egoistic phrase, but if you have such a speciality in the place, how many restaurants are in Kythros?
Two, just two of them. Only
Just two. Only
yes.
two.
Yes.
And you know on which kind of food they focused, traditional food or not?
Yes, they're focused on traditional food.
Okay.
The one is nearby the little port that I've showed you on the picture, and is mainly focused on seafood. And the other one is in the town center, in the village center, and it's most with meat, not
Meat.
Yes, meat.
Yes. So they have their own segment of client.
Exactly.
That's very good. Yes.
Exactly.
Okay. Exactly.
So one of opportunity would be to capitalize this seafood, and create the slow food tourism section and all this stuff, and to create a kind of archaeological park, and have some bikes for the tourists and go and visit everything with their bikes and not with their car.
Okay.
Okay. And in the lagoon area, there are many birds. So somebody could do the bird watching. This is another potential for the area. And concerning the threats, as I've already said, there is the competition between Northern Pieria and Southern Pieria. During winter, they don't clean the beaches, the seashore. So you can see pollution from the mussel activities, such as barrels or nets in the area. And the third and last one is the low tourist attendance due to COVID, of course.
Of course, of course. You already have tourists in the village because there is a port, there are many characteristics, or you say low tourist in general?
Low tourist in general.
Okay.
Probably they're not staying, they're not using the accommodation because they're coming for a day trip and they go. Probably to fish or to eat some seafood and go.
Okay. As you maybe you already know this, but I'm really passionate in transforming one day trip into 3 days of stays in a place. It's, for me, it's one of the challenging things to do, you know.
Yes.
When I told you that when the tourist is going to go away, you should tell him, oh, you haven't been at the archaeological site? Oh, didn't you visited our mussel? They are the best in the Mediterranean. Oh, I'm sorry for you, you had to come back, you know?
Yes.
Yes, this was just a funny example, but really, this could be one little idea, one objective to have in mind. How could I do this? Of course, you had not so many accommodations, but also, how are these accommodations organized? They are not organized because we have maybe, I don't know, 5 owners or 2 or 3 owners with apartments that use Airbnb. What if these apartments could be part of a common experience? How to do this, maybe? Of course, it depends on their idea of competition, jealousy competition. But if you have 5 accommodation and could all together propose to the person who come to Kythros that if they stay one night, they could have a discount, they could enjoy a route, they could enjoy the archaeological value of the place. Because I already had some experience in places, for example, that are well situated near the highway. For example, this village with a wonderful church that you could see from the highway. So people come to visit the church that was not in the center of the village, that was outside the village, and never go to the village. So I think that the challenge here is to try to connect all these activities. For example, the local wineries. We talk about wineries that were in competition, but maybe it's not like this in Kythros. For example, the connection could be also between the restaurants, because it's wonderful. One is focused on fish, one is focused on meat. They could create a connected menu. I come here to eat fish, and then the day after to eat meat. So the person should stay one day sleeping in the village.
Right.
What do you think? It's just a small idea, you know.
Yes, it's a very, very useful idea.
It could be. Yeah, tell me.
There is a lack of cooperation among the stakeholders in this area. So yes, it would be, they're not tourist oriented. They're more farmers,
production.
as I've said.
Yes,
production.
Yes.
So
yes, you perfectly, I was said before, for me, looking at this water, it was very, very interesting, because I see them. You point out the situation, they are involved, but also that's another big chance for you, because you had to promote a tourism that has a great return for their activities.
Right.
So saying them, so you have this wonderful product, world must know them. So try to create a circuit with tasting, maybe. Because I think for a producer, there's nothing better than to have someone telling you how your product is good, how the result of your work is good. It's one of the best things, especially for wine, food, because they connect us to the insight, to the inner part of ourselves, you know. So this could be we say the fil rouge in French, but the connection idea, I know it's not easy, but Evangelia, you had to focus that if this work would have been easy, we do not need territorial mediators because the community do this by itself.
Right.
But it's not so easy. It's difficult. It's very satisfying. This could be an idea, but I think also looking at your SWOT analysis, you could you could add some more hints, some more ideas. I think also what we said about the marketing promotion, about writing by yourself the story of the village. For me, the story of Kythros is the story of production, open to the sea, but also the story is sea and mountain. Exactly. The most important one, the Olympus mountain, but also the sea. Greece for us is sea, always. So this kind of connection that you know, it's very easy because the Mount Olympus, the sea, the meat restaurant, the fish restaurants, the mussels, very, very interesting.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed. I'll have to do more job to communicate with the local stakeholders and yes, give them some hints for how to cooperate.
Yes. Yeah, of course, a big job to do, but start from let them how they are they are hospitable.
Yes, they are.
Yes, they are.
Yes, they are. Yes, they like festives. There are many festives before COVID, of course, in the village. Mostly because of the wineries. The wineries organize some festives. Yes.
Yes. So products, wines, meat, fish, and the connection with the place characteristics, the genius loci, we say. Okay. Exactly. So there is you could connect to the Olympus. You could connect, of course, I don't want to say the obvious things, but you know, many tourists many of us follow that we could call them prejudice, but is what we know about the places, you know. Exactly. And so to tell a story that give us things we do not know, that's important, but also things we can recognize. In Kythros, we could find the story, all we know about Greece, and also something new. That's good.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Okay, so I think that we are only left with Bosnia. If there's someone who will talk, say it now. Okay. Also, maybe we could have. Could we have? What do you think, Simone? 5 minutes stop to have a coffee? Or no? What do you think, Marina? Marina,
sì, io ho alzato una mano perché volevo fare una domanda.
Sì.
È il momento o la faccio dopo?
No, falla adesso. Marina, I want to ask something. Sì.
Allora, io non lo so se ho capito male tutte le analisi SWOT, ma mi sembra di aver capito che solo in questa di Evangelia e in quella di Robert si è parlato un po' delle imprese locali. Sto parlando di imprese tradizionali che non siano turistiche.
Ok, aspetta.
Loro
Aspetta che...
rapporto con l'ambiente e della sostenibilità di queste imprese rispetto all'ambiente.
Ok, scusami perché è andata via la voce per un secondo. Vuoi approfondire il rapporto di che loro ci dicano qualcosa sul rapporto di queste imprese con l'ambiente o semplicemente che lo tengano molto in considerazione?
No, con l'ambiente, ma anche con la partecipazione, diciamo così, alla vocazionalità turistica o meno dei territori. Cioè le imprese tradizionali cosa fanno? Impattano? Aiutano? Che rapporto hanno?
Ok.
Secondo
Vuoi
me
che
se ne è parlato
rispondano?
pochissimo.
Secondo me?
Se ne è parlato pochissimo.
Ok.
Lo devono
Marina.
considerare.
Sì, ok. Okay, Marina is pointing out and asking all of you, what is the behavior of these firms producers in connection to the ambient, to the environmental? They are supportive in a much more environmental attitude. They talk about this, or they stay in the traditional way. She found this aspect underlined in Robert and Evangelia's SWOT analysis, not so much in the other SWOT analysis, and she wants to underline that this is a very important issue, to have them involved in a sustainable and environmental attitude. Also when, sto dicendo anche rispetto agli inserirli dei meeting, giusto Marina? Ok. And also in connection with the involvement in the meetings. That's very important. Maybe Evangelia, you are still with us? I don't know.
Yes, of course, I'm here.
Okay, okay. So I was clear in on the point what it's very important what Marina said. Yes.
Yes.
And also I think you suggested this to us when you say about the pollution in winter. You know.
During winter.
How is the behavior of, for example, of the mussel production from an environmental point of view, of course?
Yes. Well, in this municipality where Kitros belongs, there are still no regulations concerning the environmental pollution. So it depends on the behavior of every mayor. I know it sounds stupid, but you have to go there and complain about the pollution. So you can have the year-round tourism when you have the seashore dirty. And this is one of our threats, as I've said.
Yes, yes, yes. So the suggestion of Marina is to the other groups also, please consider this and point out as a threats or as a weaknesses or as a strength, the behavior about the environmental matter, you know, because it's of course very important. Also because in opportunities, many of you said the new trends in tourism about environmental. So if we have I use the tires production that Robert told us about. No, it's important to consider this aspect. Very, very important. Okay. I don't know if Marina is hearing me. Comunque sì, abbiamo puntualizzato questa cosa. Another Marina, grazie. Sì, va bene, vuoi dire qualcos'altro? Perché mi sembra c'è attenzione sull'argomento. Io ho anche puntualizzato che appunto Robert ha parlato dei produttori di pneumatici, insomma, nell'area, no? Quindi che è da considerare assolutamente questo aspetto. Vuoi aggiungere qualcos'altro? Ok, a posto così. Ok, so this is really an important information to have about this, because as maybe, yes, we talk about another subject, that is the segmentation. You could not have bird watchers and hunters.
Invece
No?
c'è una domanda che ha fatto Ivan, che mi
Sì.
sono tradotta,
Sì.
e la risposta te la posso dare?
Certo, ma dove l'ha fatta adesso?
In chat.
Ok, sì. Perché should we even ask them? Ok, perfect.
Ma io direi,
sì.
io direi questo: se sono effettivamente portatori di interesse è opportuno invitarli, se lo sono e se lo sono per il territorio.
Ok,
Forse
aspetta.
parteciperanno, forse non parteciperanno. Comunque noi procediamo con i costruttori e
Certo.
proviamo, se ci servono i negativi, ad approcciarli singolarmente.
Ok, aspetta. Ok. Ivan. Okay, thank you for your question. And Marina would like to answer you directly. And she said, we always need to invite the stakeholder, although we think they have a negative approach to this. So first of all, invite them. Then, of course, we had to proceed with the positive ones, the builders, as you know, we call them. And maybe, and I think this is a very interesting suggestion, you can contact them personally. And I really appreciate this Marina vision, because sometimes this, in my opinion, sometimes the negative stakeholders need and would like to have a particular attention, you know? So, first of all, it could be useful to make feel them important. Then you have to then you have to control this importance, okay? They not should become the core of the situation, but try to feel them important and of course to change their attitude. Marina, ho detto quello che hai detto tu, ho aggiunto che ero molto d'accordo, perché spesso questo tipo di persona è una persona che vuole avere l'attenzione particolare, no? E quindi il tuo suggerimento è chiaramente quello giusto. E gli ho detto anche, ovviamente, gli dai questa attenzione particolare, li fai sentire importanti, attenzione che poi questa importanza è da gestire, ecco, insomma, che non pensino poi di essere al centro. Sei d'accordo?
Certo.
So, Marina agreed with me. Yes, heart and soul we are all together, me, Marina and Simone. Thank you, Ivan. And thank you to use, Ivan is already using our words, our dictionary, that is builders. Yes, that's very good. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't, I can't, I was looking at the swords, so I'm only now, I'm reading Marianna, a nice storytelling about the area would be to overnight in the village to photo the flamingos by the sunset or dawn. That's very good. Yes. Bill, I don't know if I said this before, but our birth is with story. We all the people live with story. So story is very useful, is connected in our everyday life. And then also I turn to, I suggest 5 minutes stop or not, what we do? Facciamo 5 minuti di intervallo, Marina, Simone? A very, very short coffee, an Italian one, please.
Espresso.
Okay. And then we start with the slides one more.
Considera
Okay.
che oggi ci sono solo 2 ore.
Eh sì, oggi solo 2 ore, per questo. Ok, at 11:20, right? 6 minutes I gave him, 1 minute more. Ok, grazie, grazie.
A voi.
Grazie Marina, sì sì.
Grazie a te. Un'altra cosa di cui non si è parlato, secondo me, non è mai emersa l'accessibilità alle persone con disabilità motorie dei territori.
Sì, perché infatti me l'ero segnato perché in una delle SWOT c'era scritto accessible, ma poi, forse Robert, ma poi invece parlava dell'accessibilità via strada. E secondo me, infatti, una anche delle cose, perché poi anche nella cosa di Robert c'era l'associazione di donne, io volevo parlare proprio dei segmenti fragili, quindi l'accessibilità, i giovani, le donne, insomma, le categorie, che a me non piace categorie deboli, l'odio, però, insomma, quella che si chiama...
fragilità.
Esatto, quella che io chiamo universal accessibility, quindi non pensare solo all'accessibilità, ma universale per tutte le persone che hanno particolarità. Ok, va bene. Ormai mi ero abituata alle 3 ore, quindi mi sento che devo un po' correre, capito?
Sì, ma con quanto dura?
No. Infatti. Ok. Va bene. E intanto io gli faccio solo, perché io in realtà questi momenti li volevo, perché io il caffè ce l'ho già qui, un po' freddo, ma no, appunto io adesso gli faccio vedere solo le slide, ok? Per fortuna, perché secondo me, vedi anche queste cose che tu hai detto, grazie alla SWOT sono uscite fuori, perché poi io mi sono segnata anche altre 2 cose che adesso non ho qui o negli altri fogli sulla SWOT, e volevo, se riuscivo, a fargli ancora questo lavoro, cioè prendere tutte le cose che sono emerse dalle varie SWOT, domande, e fargli un foglio, un semplice foglio dove metto insieme tutte le cose senza dividerle per area, perché secondo me sono un po' utili per tutti, no? Alcune sono proprio generali come l'accessibilità, le industrie, la pollution, eccetera, quelle che hai detto adesso. Ma secondo me anche il discorso della promozione vale per tutti, ci sono alcune cose che sono proprio per tutti. Ok, intanto lui ha già mandato Simone e tutto quanto. Però sì. Sai cos'è, Marina? La cosa assurda di questo genere di corsi è che quando tu sei alla fine, ormai li conosci così bene, no? Conosci bene le cose, che sarebbe lì il momento di cominciare il corso, perché, capito? Cioè, è assurdo proprio.
No, è vero. Poi tutte le cose che vorresti ancora dirgli.
Perché, cioè, non è che gliene abbiamo dette tantissime, cioè, abbiamo, cioè, insomma, però man mano che loro riescono a interagire, tu capisci quali sono i punti deboli, no? Le cose che magari vanno più approfondite. Non si può, il corso funziona così. Spero che poi avrete comunque, degli incontri perché io poi ho anche detto, avrei dovuto consultarmi con te, però io ho dato per scontato che se loro hanno delle domande su SWOT analisi e cose del genere, possono chiamarvi, possono, no? continua a esserci. Certo, no? Infatti.
Grazie, allora sì, certo.
Certo, no? Infatti. Poi, vabbè, io devo dire, l'ho letto tutto, ma ho visto un po' di cose su quello che è il post, specie quando ho assistito alla presentazione di Simone, e a me i lavori insieme, cioè i bilateral meeting, sono stati interessanti per me anche per capire cosa loro, perché molti di loro erano già preoccupati del dopo, capito, no? Perché come far nascere la cooperativa, perché dicono che non è possibile, eccetera, eccetera. Quindi penso che comunque, anche se la formazione ufficiale è questa, però loro attraverso domande, se restano così, perché adesso a me sembrano belli caldi, insomma. Peccato che non si possa... speriamo che riusciate a fare delle cose in presenza, veramente.
Lo spero, ma... Comunque dai, noi ci saremo sempre, se avranno bisogno di noi ci chiameranno,
Sì,
ci chiederanno.
Sì. Poi c'è un'altra cosa molto importante, che comunque fanno la SWOT, però non considerando i fattori esterni come fattori esterni. Io gliel'ho detto nelle prime due, poi gliel'ho riaccennato, però bisogna proprio che mi segni di specificarlo, perché una domanda ti faccio da 1000 punti. Ma qualcuno gli ha spiegato l'analisi SWOT? Perché io non ce l'avevo nel programma.
No, nessuno. È una cosa di cui abbiamo parlato quando abbiamo parlato. Ma
quando ne avete parlato, esatto. Allora, io questa cosa adesso poi me la... Poi vabbè, e questo weekend ci siamo dovuti focalizzare, già abbiamo fatto tantissimo lavoro su quello, però ho visto che alcuni le hanno cambiato alcune cose. Ecco, un'altra domanda di Ivan in chat. Alcuni hanno cambiato alcune cose, però bisogna che sia chiaro che la parte delle opportunità, loro mettono nelle opportunità cose che invece vanno messe nei punti di forza.
Io ho visto.
E quindi non gli è proprio chiaro. Allora voglio di fare un piccolo manualetto, cerco anche in rete una cosa molto semplice che glielo spieghi, perché la cosa importante è che capiscano che quelli sono quelli interni, gli altri sono quelli esterni, che quindi non è che possono controllare o cambiare loro più di tanto. Ecco, domanda di Ivan. Marina, secondo te come il coronavirus, come colpirà il turismo e i villaggi se continua così? Quanto a lungo può durare il turismo in questa crisi? Una domanda da 1001 notte, veramente. Sì. Ivan, I translate your question to Marina, and you could look at her face. That's not in English, not in Italian, but it's very
complicated. Il turismo non può durare molto poco a lungo, secondo me così, però appunto ci sono due fattori secondo me che occorre considerare, ed è anche per questo che noi all'interno dei nostri borghi autentici non è che diciamo spingiamo molto affinché l'economia diventi totalmente turistica. Quindi bisogna fare sì che il turismo sia una componente economica che non sia quella fondamentale. Bisogna rivolgersi molto al turismo di prossimità, perché sarà quello che in un qualche modo riuscirà a risollevare un po' le sorti del turismo. E sempre secondo me, non so cosa ne pensi tu Daniela,
d'accordo sinora, d'accordo,
i servizi al turismo in prima battuta devono essere servizi concepiti per gli abitanti. Questo al di là ad esempio degli alberghi che effettivamente hanno un problema.
Sono totalmente d'accordo. So, Ivan, I translate you what Marina said. Of course, tourism is in great difficulties, we know, but this is why we always talk about an approach to tourism in the village that should be not monofunctional. I already said this time. I know that in many villages, you know, we call this panacea. We had this problem. Wait a minute. I translate what Marina said. Okay, correctly. Then she said not only 2 but 3 important points. First, not only tourism. Second, it would be a great idea to focus on the proximity tourism. You had to understand if the people in your areas could come and visit the village. Maybe for us Italians, it's easier, I don't know. But this is a very important point. And third point, the third one, in a Marina experience, the best way to project a tourism product is to project it first for the community, for the inhabitants, and then for the tourist. Or I can say, when you project something in the village, always take in consideration people living there. First of all, because if there is a plus for the community will cooperate much more. But also because if you had problem with tourists, the product will still remain because it's projected also for the inhabitants. Marina, ho tradotto e ho aggiunto anche che effettivamente, penso avrai capito, insomma, era semplice, che effettivamente quello che poi succede è che se il turismo ha dei problemi, però il prodotto rimane per gli abitanti e aiuta anche la comunità a essere molto più positiva verso la realizzazione dei progetti.
Certo.
Ecco, e questo è sicuramente...
E poi ci sono tanti che hanno fatto, attraverso la digitalizzazione appunto dei luoghi, hanno fatto sì che comunque i luoghi si propongano all'esterno. Sicuramente non svilupperanno economia in questo momento, ma quantomeno riusciranno a promuoversi.
Yeah. And also Marina states that many propose themselves through the digitalization. Ivan, you see that we are really focused on digitalization because now we are obliged to use these instruments. And Marina pointed out that at first, this could not have an economic return. But it's a way to let people know about you. I also want to reflect with you all that what we supposed could happen, we don't know when, but many of us think, as soon as I can move, I want to go there or there or there. And this need to go out and make visits, get in touch with different people, it would really focus on rural areas so much more than before. I think immediately after the COVID, sto dicendo che, Marina, che comunque c'è proprio questa visione, no? Che nel momento in cui ci si potrà muovere, tutti vorranno muoversi, però che ci sarà un focus particolare sulle aree rurali. Adesso aggiungerò anche per la sicurezza, no? Perché magari prima di andare lontano, no? Okay. Se vuoi dire qualcos'altro dimmelo, pensaci intanto.
No, ok, va benissimo.
Okay, and also, of course, we think that the safety issues are changing our life and our world, and they could change maybe at the beginning, but we had to be prepared to this beginning, because we could choose rural areas because of the slow tourism, but also because of our safety. So, for example, try to focus on the threats, that's the COVID, and try to move a part of the COVID in the opportunities. What kind of opportunities could the COVID give to your village? So also in terms of communication and promotion, how could I say to people, my village is safe? That's very important. Vedo Marina capisce anche l'inglese. Next time Marina will talk in English now. She understands everything. Okay, yes, how could I say to people, my place is safe? Only 2 words. It's safe because it's way of life. It's in our heritage. Then, how Kati Giombini told you, it's safe because we know how to do things. We know the laws, we apply them. So you come in our village and find these 2 joint elements. So our time is ended, finished. Next time, so please have a look at the checklist I let you see in the slides, but it's completely detailed in the document Simone sent you in the chat. If you need to have some more specification about this, next time we'll go through the slides very fast. So if you have questions, please ask me. And if I could, I answer you. Although I will wait for Marina's suggestion. As I told you, she is not, unfortunately, she is not with us next time. But she underlines me a few minutes ago that anytime you need questions and you need answers, because you could need also questions, and ask her and Simone. Okay. So, Simone, you had to say something, or we can close?
No, I think we can conclude the session. Our next and last session will be on Wednesday. And okay, that's
Ringrazio lì per me, Simone, vi ringrazio tutti, ringrazio Daniela, te e tutti loro.
Yeah, and Marina says a very, very big thank you to all of you for the participation today and for the feedbacks you provided us during your presentations of the SWOT analysis.
Grazie davvero a tutti. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
See you.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.